Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. You'll get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And when I'm not asking Bruce, hey, how big was Batista's? Well, you know. One of the things I like to do is help people save money. And if you're watching this video right now and you're in a 30-year loan, man, you're overpaying your single biggest bill and you may not even realize it. I want you to do a little experiment for me. Take your calculator out, multiply your monthly house payment by 360 payments. That's how many payments there are in a 30-year loan. That big scary number, that's your total of payments. You're looking at that number? You know you can do better. Keep more of your own money right now and go to savewithconrad.com. Or maybe you've got credit card debt. Man, it's not a matter of if I can save you money with that. Your average interest rate on a credit card is more than 20%. And by the way, all the interest you pay on those credit cards, it's not tax deductible. Whereas the mortgage interest, well, that is tax deductible. So if you owe this debt, it's up to you how to pay it back. Doesn't it make sense to get the cheapest rate possible and the greatest tax deduction possible? Find out how much money you can save right now for free at savewithconrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. Even scores in the 500s can be approved, and it's no cost out of pocket. But maybe best of all, we're licensed in more than 40 states. We can help more families than ever before. But how much can we save you? Find out right now for free with a quick quote from savewithconrad.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. What's going on, man? How are you?
Well, I'm still bored out of my mind. How you doing?
Man, I'm great. I got to tell you, I'm adjusting nicely. You know, I feel like there's that moment where we all think we can do this, and then we start to freak out a little bit and like, I just can't keep doing this. And then you just settle in. I imagine it's like being with Lois. You just settle and you're just like, fuck it. This is it.
Yeah, I guess I guess you just kind of get accustomed to it is another way to say it. But,
Sure.
I had a day last week where literally, and I've never done this in my life. I almost slept all day. All right. I watched TV till late in the night. Then I went to bed, and this is about 2 a.m., I guess, Eastern time. Slept till 12:30. Got up, took Bug out for him to pee, gave him his medicine, fed him. I took my medicine, went back to bed, and slept till 7:30 that night. And then got up, looked at the TV, and went back to bed. I've never done that. I would just, I don't know if it's being depressed about the times that we're in or just, and I'm thinking that was, and I've had a lot of unproductive days in my life, a lot of them. But that took the cake. That took the fucking cake. So hopefully we won't have to do that again and we can keep moving forward. And, but it's good as always, bringing everybody the podcast and being on What Happened When with you.
Well, congratulations. I'm sure you've heard, a lot of critical praise for your work last week on AEW. Of course, Chris Jericho joined you, and, it's a little different. You know, there's no Tazz, there's no JR, there's no Excalibur, but there was Tony Schiavone and Chris Jericho. And all I heard were glowing reviews of you guys as a duo, and people seem to really dig it. So I hope you had fun working with Chris, and it seems like fans want more of that in the future.
Well, we hope to give them more of that in the future. And I think that right now it's kind of a novel idea. And right now I'm not overexposed. And people who remember me, as you say at the beginning of this, voice of your childhood. So the good thing is that I don't want to do too much. I really, really don't, because I know how it gets. I've been there. And all of a sudden people say, oh, that motherfucker again. And they've said that about Michael Cole for years. They said that about me. And it just happens. People get enough of you. So me in small doses works for me. And it works for my raspy old man voice too. So but I did enjoy it. I love working with Chris. He and I have had a great relationship going back years and years. Respect him and like what he does. And I had a great time. And my girl, Britt Baker, really turned it up, got a broken nose and everything. My God, bless her heart.
What a scene that was, man. Yeah. She was, busted wide open right there on TV. And I think it had a lot of people aghast. Like, they hadn't seen something like that on TV.
Yeah, well, you know, it was a hard way. It really was. She got her nose broken, and now she apparently is going to need surgery, but of course she can't have it right now. because it's, because of the way the health crisis is right now. She has to wait. So but anyway, I thought it was a great women's match, and Cody had a great match with Shawn Spears. And it's funny watching guys, and you'll agree with this. It's funny watching guys on both sides wrestle in front of nobody and doing promos in front of nobody where they cannot feed off the crowd.
Right.
That's a completely different monster than we've ever seen in wrestling. Even back in the old studio days when we had, 100 people or 200 people, they came in and they were vocal and the fans fed off them. But we got nobody, with the exception of maybe 5 guys on each side, the wrestlers. It's a different time, obviously, but it's a different monster completely. I don't know. I really feel good about the wrestling business, what we're attempting to do, and what the WWE is attempting to do, and that is continue to entertain you during these hard times.
Well, we are having fun, not only watching the show and having a fun distraction, but we're having fun here on this show, trying to provide you another distraction. And this one is a little more nostalgic. We're going to talk about, you often hear this all the time, Tony, and I'm sure you do. Oh, I liked wrestling back then, or, oh, I loved it growing up, or, oh, it's not as good as it used to be, or this isn't the wrestling I grew up with, or, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of looking back with rose colored glasses. Is that fair to say?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because you and I have looked back at some of the old world championship wrestling days in the 80s. And I remember those fondly as great days of wrestling. But when you and I review it here on the show and watch it together, it sucks, right?
Yeah. A lot of it is not great.
Right. Just the time that we're in and the era that we're in and what we're accustomed to now. But the good news about the show that we're getting ready to do is that I know the Hardy Boys are on this, and I've become, now that Matt's with AEW, I've become kind of a Hardy Boy watcher, and they were just sensational back in the day, back in this time.
Well, listen, I'm excited to cover this one. Of course, the show we're talking about is Monday Night Raw, February 28th, 2000. Pretty special show. We're on the heels of Royal Rumble 2000 and then No Way Out 2000. We're marching towards WrestleMania 2000. Mick Foley has lost his shot at the world title, put his career on the line the next month at No Way Out, took a very spectacular bump in yet another Hell in a Cell match. And that's it. Mick Foley has been forced to retire, and Kurt Angle is just really starting to get hot. The Rock is looking for a shot at the world title at WrestleMania. Tazz is here in WWE. So there's lots of fun stuff to talk about. I'm excited for you to see it for the first time because, this is one of the more talked about shows, and you'll see why shortly. But Tony, right. You've never seen this, correct?
No, I've not. This was back February of 2000. We were going down the toilet, as you know. We were the coffin on roller skates. And so I was very depressed about the business and very didn't want to see anything else but what we were trying to do. So I completely ignored it. Didn't know what was going on. I couldn't have told you anything about Kurt Angle, about the Hardy Boys, about Mick Foley, about Triple H, about Big Show, nothing during that time. Didn't know anything about them.
Well, let's have some fun with this. Fire up your WWE network. You heard me. It's February 28th, 2000. It's an hour and 33 minutes. We're going to get this thing going. But first, we need a little help from our friends. You think the old bride's hanging around? You think we can tag her in?
Did you say old bride or old broad?
Well, I mean, whatever you want to say. I said okay. Bride, but if you want to call your wife a bride, I mean, that's your prerogative, I suppose.
No, I don't. We've been getting along.
What's up with that? Do you think, because you guys have decided this is the end of days, that you might as well start being nice to each other?
Yeah, might as well.
Well, that's good, man.
Yeah, I started watching TV shows together, and which reminds me, and I'll talk about it as we go along. I've started watching a new TV show I want to check with you about, but we're watching TV shows together. So anyway, let's bring in the old bride.
There you go.
Thank you. Lois Schiavone.
I'm not an old bride. I'm not an old bride. You can't call me an old bride. You're old. 3, 2, 1, play.
Here you see the old signature open. I'm going to track it.
Love that logo.
I love this whole entrance scene. The big pyro to start the show. Man, pyro really set the tone for wrestling. It's one of those things where I always sort of took for granted, and I was like, who fucking cares? Especially when you're live at the show, it's just loud and annoying. And I'm like, let's get on with the show. And now that we don't get much pyro anymore, it's pretty spectacular to go back and look at it and say, damn, what a way to start the show.
Yeah. And would you look at the fans, the sea of fans, if you will, and all the different, we're in the sign era right now.
Yeah, not only are we in the sign era, we're in the hotbed of WWE. We're in Madison Square Garden in New York City. So this is a great show, a great time to be a part of the WWE universe. By the way, I got somebody on Twitter the other day saying, why did you start saying performer and WWE universe? Because that's what they're fucking calling them. Who cares?
Jesus.
By the way, what do you think of this entrance? You've often made fun of the WCW entrance with the quote unquote exploding vagina logo, but this is quite an entrance set here for WWE with, you see all the trusses and the big screens and the lighting effects. It's a little more complicated than the old Nitro set, but quite a impressive setup here. No?
Oh yeah. I think I've only, used, exploding vagina when I was talking about the logo. Not necessarily the entrance.
Well, but they had to walk through the exploding vagina. It was on the floor.
Got it. So smart me up here. Where are they in their relationship now? They married yet?
Not in real life. No,
not in real life. They're not married yet.
But in kayfabe, yes, they're married. She was going to get married to, someone else and he drugged her and took her through a drive-through wedding chapel. And, he moved his mouth sort of out of the corner of his mouth to say, I do, for her. And so they were married, and then he couldn't wait to tell Vince. And then we consummated the relationship. Oh, would you have consummated with Stephanie McMahon?
That's a really difficult, thing for me to answer.
Well, it shouldn't have been. I mean,
well, no, it is. I mean, she's very, sexy here. I think she is. There's no question, but I'm very, much older than her. And it would be a creepy old thing for me to say that.
Oh, Jesus. Who is this? Is this Tony Schiavone? Are we talking? Cause this is the same guy who was just fucking fawned over Francine.
Well, I never saw Francine when she was wee little. Okay. I saw Stephanie when she was very, very, very young. Like I saw Ashley Flair when she was very young. So it's hard for me to talk about these ladies when I knew them as young kids. Does that make sense to you? Okay. Yeah, I'd bone her. So wow, look at these signs, man. I love it.
Yeah, it's a weird thing to go back and see all the signs because these days fans get to express themselves on social media and get blocked by Tony Schiavone instead of breaking out a trip to the Office Depot with a couple Sharpies.
We still have some signs out now. We don't have
a sea of them. Yeah,
we don't have any right now, but. So here, Triple H is talking about taking over the business one day, or getting demoted, or having to work behind Shaney Mac. What's he talking about here?
Well, that's what I was sort of alluding to a minute ago. Was if you would have decided to consummate the relationship with Stephanie, then I mean, you might be running the business right now.
Boy, would I ever! And let me tell you, I would run it in the ground. Well, I decided long ago that I would never be a good, I think I would be a good boss, a good person to work for, but I don't think I would be a good business person to run a wrestling company.
Why do you think that is? Let me just speak freely as your friend. I feel like sometimes you beat yourself up too much. You're too hard on yourself. And it's almost like you have some serious self-esteem issues. Oh, I wouldn't be good at that. Oh, I could never do that. Yeah. Oh, Lord. My old voice. I just can't. Like, where the fuck is Tony Schiavone's like hashtag big dick swagger?
Okay. I don't have a big dick swagger.
Well, you need some big dick energy. It's fake it till you make it, right?
Well, yeah, it is. And I think when When the bell sounds and the cameras are rolling, I do fake it until I make it. But let me go back to this thing. I think to be able to run a business, and Tony Khan has kind of broken the mold on that. I think there's got to be a part of you that makes very tough business decisions that impact people's lives. And I don't know if I could do that. I just think I'm too charitable and too soft. And God, Vince is not like that at all.
No.
Tony is very, very much so. But I know I've seen Tony on the other end where he's had to make very tough decisions that people didn't like. But I just don't think I can make those. I would rather not make those. So in my lack of self-esteem, I think I'm spot on about not being able to run a wrestling company.
In fairness, absolutely no disrespect to Tony Khan, but there hasn't been a lot of troubled waters for AEW yet. Sure, there's been trying times, but it hasn't really been quote unquote nut cutting time for AEW just yet. So he hasn't had to make some of those really tough decisions. Of course, coronavirus excluded.
Sure.
By the way, Bruce Mitchell had an excellent observation over the weekend. Or maybe it wasn't over the weekend. It was several days ago, but it was about Tony Khan, because Tony was really proud of the show you guys put together this past week on AEW, and he took to Twitter to brag on everybody and what a great job that the crew did and everybody came together. And of course, somebody, you know how these keyboard warriors are.
Fuck them, by the way.
Somebody was like, "You're the Luthez of money marks," or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what a stupid thing to say, but just kept moving. And then we saw a response from Bruce Mitchell that I thought was just tremendous. And I'll try to find the tweet, but I know I wanted to bring it up to you because it just jumped off the page. Like, why is nobody talking like this? Because Bruce really laid it out, and Bruce is, not normally that guy, but he writes, Tony Khan went head to head with Triple H on primetime Wednesday nights and outbooked and outpromoted his entire team. He's no money mark. And no matter where you are on the AEW thing, the concept, the company, their direction, whatever, maybe you say, oh, it's not my type of wrestling. Okay, whatever. Who cares? But the facts remain. Tony Khan has maybe won Wrestling Observer Promoter of the Year, which some people would say, oh, what's that worth? But still, he did what a lot of people thought was impossible, and he did it very, very quickly.
Yes. And when he takes to Twitter and talks about how proud he was of everybody, he's talking about, and this is what makes him such a good leader. He's talking about not only the wrestlers, not only the announcers, not only the people you see in front of the camera, but the people behind the camera, the people that work, the people like Tim, who's our director, and Keith Mitchell, who's our producer, and Chris, who've been in TNA his entire life and works backstage. He's talking about all those people. And that's what makes him such a good leader, because in his eyes, we're all kind of equal, and he doesn't look down at anybody. So he gets on there to brag about people that normally don't get bragged about. And that's why he's a good leader. So all those keyboard warriors can shove their keyboard up their ass, then pull it out and lick it.
All right. Well, while you're licking your shit covered keyboard, Triple H and Stephanie have just played a worst of highlight reel of Mick Foley, where he's digging in his ass and his pants are falling down and he's getting thrown downstairs, and a very less than desirable look at Mick Foley. And of course, he's just lost a retirement match.
Right.
And he's out here to not only gloat and spike the ball, but take a bit of a victory lap. And we know, of course, that this, I feel like you should be paying attention. You missed something here.
Okay. I'm paying it. Did I miss something, or will I?
Well, I just feel like the Tony Schiavone I know would have had something to say about some things happening in the ring right now.
Okay.
But I get it now. You're just going to ignore it or whatever.
No, I missed it. I'm sorry.
No big deal. I'm sure somebody would tweet you about it.
Okay. Well, I'm sure they will.
Hey, so while we're waiting on this to develop, because this is the era where, I have to admit, I started to fall out of love with the WWE product a little bit, because this McMahon-Helmsley era, it felt like the show became very formulaic at this point, where we're going to start with a 20-minute Hunter Hearst Helmsley Stephanie promo. It's worth mentioning Stone Cold Steve Austin is on the shelf, and this is what we've got. Oh, and out comes, what do you know? It could be Vince McMahon, or it could be Shane McMahon. Mm-hmm. Who will it be?
Well, you say Stone Cold's on the shelf, but he certainly is on the open, isn't he?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's their big star, but he's hurt. and he's out with neck fusion, so he's still got his gimmick in a neck brace here, and he's on the sidelines. So we're gonna have to get through WrestleMania without him. And I think the original idea was a 4-way with Chris Jericho and Big Show, The Rock, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And ultimately they decide, they being Vince, we don't have confidence in Chris Jericho in this spot yet. So let's talk Mick Foley coming out of his retirement that literally just happened and stick him in the match. So Jericho was even on the original promotional pieces for the pay-per-view WrestleMania 2000. And of course we know he would wind up ultimately in that spot, the main event of WrestleMania, but it would be 2 years later against Hunter Hearst Helmsley in singles action.
Right.
It's just
the famous, we got to follow Hogan Rock match.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a tough deal.
Yeah.
It is pretty remarkable though, when you think about it, how long people have been doubting Chris Jericho.
Yeah. Forever. And he just continues to perform. Hey, I need to say something here.
Okay. Let's hear it, Tony.
Have you seen the Big Show on Netflix?
I haven't, but I've heard about it. Plan to watch it soon. What'd you think?
I think it's something that would be really, really good on the Disney Channel.
Yeah. I kind of got the vibe that it was a family show.
Yeah. It's a lot of canned laughter, which I don't like canned laughter, but, nothing bad about it, but it's, he's got young girls, and so a family thing. And it's like, he doesn't do a bad job, but it's just not my cup of tea. A sitcom with canned laughter is not my cup of tea, but good for him. Good for him. So anyway, there's that. That's my statement on that.
Is that the show you teased at the top?
Yes.
That you
want to talk about it. Yeah. Want to talk about it.
Boy, that's disappointing.
Okay. It's hard for me to shit on it when I've watched like one episode.
Well, I didn't want you to shit on it. I just thought you had something terrible I could shit on. I thought you were going to
watch Star Trek Deep Space Balls.
Hey, easy.
Hey, I found something for you to do.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
I don't know if I am or not, but go ahead.
Can I get you? I mean, you're at your computer, obviously. Can I get you to type something in? I want you to just take a look.
Would you give me a second here now?
Sure. But what I want you to look at is something that I think when things get back to normal, it could change your life a little bit.
Okay. I'm at my computer.
I want you to type this in your address bar. You ready?
Yes.
DINK.
Yep.
YONE.com.
Okay.
And what do you pull up here? Tell everybody what you see here, Tony.
Welcome to the small penis dating site.
Connecting those with a smaller penis to those who prefer one. If you think you have a mini willy, there's no need to be embarrassed. At dinkyone.com, every guy has a below average penis size. This means anyone you date will be fully aware, and you can avoid unnecessary pressure or anxiety. Our site is totally free to join and is open to males, females, and transgender people of any sexuality.
That is great. Can we listen to the Rock talk?
Absolutely, we can. What do we say here on the show when we want to hear the Rock talk?
Track it.
Shane described him. Man, we've got some combustible elements here on Raw, here in the very, very early going. Got that right. Shane's back in the show. Stephanie with Triple H, and now here's The Rock. He's got all the people behind him.
Now The Rock says, congratulations to the four of you. No, Shane, not for you making your triumphant return during The Rock's match. No, Stephanie, not for being the biggest tramp walking New York City.
Oh my gosh. What? Rock can't say that.
No, Big Show, not for going on to WrestleMania. And no, Triple H, not for still being the WWF champion.
What's the congratulations for then?
Congratulations to the four of you for being the biggest group of assholes The Rock has ever seen.
Oh my God! And that's cutting to the chase, isn't it? That dog will hunt. He can't say that and get away with it. Here he is, the People's Champion.
Big Show, The Rock says this. Last night at No Way Out, you did beat The Rock. But unlike you, the People's Champ isn't gonna whine, bitch, moan, and complain because the People's Champ guarantees that he is going to WrestleMania.
What? How? Buy a ticket, maybe.
And The Rock guarantees that he is gonna be the WWF Champion.
Those are big guarantees, JR.
Excuse me, Rock. You see, this was an A-B conversation. Why don't you see your way out of it?
Ah, there's a good one. ABC.
As a matter of fact, let me make it clearer for you. What this was a conversation between a champion and a #1 contender to be a champion.
There's that chant again. What The Rock called all of these guys in the ring.
Look, The Rock is out here for your entertainment. Don't talk to him like that.
Oh, there's another good one.
Rock, this conversation does not involve also-rans. This conversation does not involve has-beens.
Whoa, man, that's strong.
So you can just walk away. You know, Rock, and while I'm thinking about it, since you're no longer the #1 contender, since you've had your chance and you blew it, you go back to the bottom of the barrel. You go back to the bottom of the ladder. And as a matter of fact, Rock, I've got a hell of an idea of how we can get that ball rolling. You see, because as you like to say, I say, Rock, in this very ring, you, Rock, will go back to the bottom of the ladder. When tonight you step into one-on-one competition with New York's own, New York's greatest claim to fame, the Brooklyn Brawler.
Oh my gosh!
Come on.
He has reached rock bottom.
In all due respect to the Brawler, this is not right.
Rock's rock bottomed out.
Rock, do you understand that? You, one-on-one with the Brooklyn Brawler, if you smell what the game is playing.
Oh, the game is full of himself tonight, JR.
People's Champ's got to start at rock
And Rock,
bottom.
just to make sure that there are absolutely no mistakes here, the only chance of you going to WrestleMania as the #1 contender, well, Rock, there's absolutely no chance in hell.
Whoa, man.
Man, what a way to start off this broadcast.
19 minutes and 10 seconds. Not the best Rock promo to get us started. I just, I don't know, man. I did like Nitro. Obviously it's different here in February 2000, a great deal different on Nitro, but once upon a time, Nitro started with a kick-ass, cruiserweight match. And, and we're still doing, or we're doing sort of paint by numbers on this show in a different way. Oh, you'll love this character. I don't know that you've seen this, but this is APA, the Acolyte Protection Agency, and they just sit in the back and drink beer and play cards and smoke cigars. And they set up a fake door frame in the back of an empty arena, and guys have to pretend to walk through the door frame to come talk to them about whatever they need. How great is that?
Wow. For some reason, I remember this. I don't know why. There's Ron Simmons, and is that JBL?
Yes, it is.
Wow. I even recognized him. How about that? Look at the Hardys, man. They were cool looking back then, weren't they?
Oh, they didn't go through the door. They're breaking all the rules.
They didn't. They breaking all the. Oh! So we're still 20 minutes into the show, and we go to a break, 2011, and come back, and we still haven't wrestled yet. But I guess we're going to see the Hardy Boys against the Acolytes.
Certainly looks like we're setting up a match for later tonight, huh?
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does. Hey, Conrad.
Hey, Tony.
The global average erect penis length is about 5.5 inches.
Does that surprise you? Or are you expecting bigger, smaller? Where were we thinking?
I don't know where they get this. I don't know where they measure these. I don't know where they get this data.
Well, they usually start at the base.
Okay. This is the line I like. If you hear someone say they are 7 inches, that generally means they're really 6 or 6.5 at best. Cheating on a half an inch there, boys. And then if you're too big for dinky one, then join big one. God almighty. What? No wonder we are under martial law right now.
Martial law. Listen to you.
The society has flipped its fucking lid.
Wait a minute. You're not happy that guys like you finally have a dating website? What if something happened to Lois?
No. I'm just thinking about the Roman Empire.
Wait a minute. What does Roman have to do with this?
The Roman Empire, because of debauchery and sin.
Whoa. He had leukemia. He didn't have debauchery and sin. He was
Roman Empire. I'm talking about the
Roman Empire.
Never mind. Look at the Hardy Boys. Woo! Go get them.
The Hardy Boys were like the original Young Bucks.
You know what? That's a good call. That is a good call.
You would have loved their stuff in Ring of Honor, by the way. They did some reckless and irresponsible things with ladders and tables together.
I saw them do something where they did the delete thing and they wrestled outside in the compound or whatever. I saw that. But that was TNA, right? They did that.
I'm just saying they had some craziness with tables and ladders. I hope we get to see something like that again. Maybe I don't. Listen. The Hardy Boys, they don't have to put themselves. I don't want any more of that, actually. Now, I started to say the Hardy Boys don't need that at their age, but you know what? The Young Bucks are younger. They don't need it either. I know I'm sounding like the worst wrestling fan ever, but I'm okay with there never being another table or ladder match. That's just some unforgiving stuff that just shortens everybody's run. And I'm not for it.
Oh, I'm not for it. I've never been for it.
Well, I was when I was a kid before I knew anybody, and these were just like fictional characters here for my amusement. But then you meet them and you see how some of these guys are moving sort of slow and they walk funny, and you're like, oh fuck, man. Well, what can we do to cut that down a little bit?
Yeah. Because they're young, as the Hardy Boys were here and as the Bucks are now. And you can't tell them anything, Conrad. They think they're bulletproof. They really do. And I get it. It's spectacular. We love seeing it. Here's another guy that does all that crazy stuff. It's Kenny Omega. The bumps he takes and the shit he does, my God. Just look at that, man. I can't believe that's Matt Hardy.
Hey, I don't think we're watching the same show, because Matt Hardy's not anywhere in the ring right now.
Okay, that's Jeff Hardy. Then I was right. That's why I can't believe it was Matt Hardy.
Hey, so let's talk about it. Dinkyone.com. Did you set up a profile or not?
No, stop that. Okay. Regardless if I got a dinky one, is there a site called Old Dinky Ones?
Well,
no.
I'm sure that's a niche inside.
How about old dinky married ones?
I haven't. Okay? Well, that's like probably more desirable, because now they know you can make a commitment, Some of my married friends are putting up more numbers now than they were when they were single, because they say that wedding band is like bait. Yeah,
well, they're crazy.
Hey, let's talk about something else that's crazy, since you brought up penises today.
I didn't. You did. You had me type in dinky1.com.
No, I had you type in DINKYONE.com. I did not say dinky1.com.
Okay. So anyway, you had me type it in, which means you introduced this to this audience right here. So anyway, I can't believe that it's Matt Hardy on the outside. Did I say that?
Yeah.
So anyway, what was I saying? What were you talking about? Okay.
Do you want to jack off Matt Hardy a few more minutes?
No. Go ahead.
I just recently learned that a friend of ours has penis piercing.
When did Jay-Z get that?
Well, it's funny you say that, because I do think in my group chat, most people would have assumed that it was him, but it's actually not. This came up because of Tiger King, by the way, which you and I have had a fun time talking about over at adfreeshows.com. And by the way, if you were a subscriber to adfreeshows.com, you would have gotten this show last week and ad free. But either way, we have some bonus content over there. And one of those was watching Tiger King. And one of the main characters in that show is Joe Exotic, who reveals that he has a penis piercing.
Yeah. Good.
And so that came up in the group chat, and it was revealed that a friend of mine, ours, in the group chat has a penis piercing. So your first guess was Jay-Z. Do you have a second guess?
Do I know this person?
Yes.
Matt Coon.
You nailed it. Matt Coon has a penis piercing. And so I learned a lot about this. Apparently what Joe Exotic has is a lock, like a master lock, not Chris Masters. But it's through the tip of his penis. And so I'm like, who the fuck would do that? And Matt Coon said, not me. I have Jacob's ladder. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then I saw a picture, not his, but I threw it in my Google machine. Don't do that. And I saw what he was referencing. Have you heard of a Jacob's ladder on a penis?
No, and I don't care to.
It's a set of railroad tracks.
Are we watching Raw?
Underneath. But here's what I've learned, because it's Matt Coon. And I think most of our heavy set listeners know this. For every 50 pounds you lose, you gain an inch of penis.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I thought it was 30, but I heard that. Yeah.
So Matt Coon now has a Jacob's stepladder.
Or a Jacob's footstool.
Jacob's footstool.
Yeah.
Speaking of step ladders and footstools, talk about a great champion here.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle here, Olympic gold medalist, sporting not only the Intercontinental, but the European and his gold medal. What a fucking great look this is it not?
Yeah. And here's another guy who, and I know he's, as all of us, he's aged, but man, he took some risks too and beat his body up. But yeah, he looks great, man. Look at that. Looks all tan.
One of the all-time best, man.
Yeah, he is. One of the all-time best, man. Got the, is that Teddy Long refereeing back there?
Yes, it is.
Wow. How about Teddy?
It would have been something to see, Kurt Angle when he was on the top of his game against Kenny Omega, wasn't it?
Oh my God. Here comes one of our favorites.
Rikishi, he's going to back that ass up. By the way, I guess we should mention later tonight, or it was last night actually. Dark Side of the Ring had a whole special on Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
Oh,
and we got to see Tonga Kid as a part of that. What an episode that was. The internet is going to be a buzz about that episode for a whole week. And next week we got Dino Bravo, comes on Tuesday nights on Vice. Not a lot of wrestling on Tuesday night. Go out of your way to check it out. If you have DirecTV or if you have Dish Network, I know that it's available there. Check your local cable listings. I think it's $271 on DirecTV. I don't miss an episode. You shouldn't either. And then on Wednesdays, the morning after, I catch up with the producers of that show, Evan and Jason, and we sort of break down what didn't make the cut and how the episode came to be. And it's all happening on the Grilling JR platform. So if you're subscribed to JR's channel, you'll get it every week. If not, go subscribe to Grilling JR and check your feed Wednesday morning after you get done with What Happened to Win here.
Sounds like some good stuff. I was just watching today on their YouTube feed, the New Jack one.
Dude, how crazy is New Jack?
Oh, good God.
He's crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy. Yeah, and what's crazier, you know what was crazier than New Jack? Anybody that said, yeah, I'll get in the ring with him. That's crazy too. There you go. The old ass bump. That works, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Oh my gosh.
Oh, you enjoying this?
That's sort of what you did on your honeymoon, is it not?
What, that? No.
Tell me that you wouldn't let Whitney Wright give you a stink face.
I can't admit to that one way or the other.
Tony, what's going on? Do we just need to call off this week's episode and get back together when you're feeling better?
No, I feel fine. I feel fine. I just want to try to be a gentleman here.
Okay. Well, let's just call it straight. Just give us real commentary on the show for the rest of the show.
The global average erect penis length is about 5.5 inches, which is, by the way, how many centimeters is that, Conrad? Do you know?
I'm going to guess 14.
You're right. Exactly. See, you know your metric conversions.
I do.
That's one of the things I like about you.
Thank you.
Okay. So now Kurt Angle didn't want his, somebody's ass in his face, which what the fuck we got now?
It's, Chris Jericho. Let's play the audio. What do we do? What do we say here on the show?
Track it.
She may have a giant ass, but you are a giant ass.
He is caught.
And we would love to see you get the stink face once more again. Let's go.
No, wait a minute.
Jericho hammering away at Angle, forcing Angle back into the ring as Rikishi awaits. It could be the Rikishi driver.
Look at that thing. Oh, no.
Angle's head bouncing off the canvas.
And just like that, Jericho ruins all of Kurt Angle's fun.
The Rikishi driver.
How about him just really dead weighting him on the drag here? Nope. If you're going to do that, you better drag my ass for real.
Exactly.
You're going to earn it. I ain't sitting here for that.
Give me a time code here. I think I'm behind you a little bit.
I'm at 31, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34.
Yeah, I'm 5 seconds behind.
How about Benoit laying it in there? I think those may have been the tights he won the WCW World Title in.
Whoa.
The Radicals are here. Of course, you see Eddie Guerrero got his arm in a sling. He broke it on his first night in the promotion, his first night in the ring, rather. There you see the rest of Too Cool coming out. Scotty Too Hottie and Brian Christopher. The Grandmaster Sexay, which I guess could be your nickname here on the show. Grandmaster Sexay.
Sexay. I have, listen, I know who obviously the Radicals are, and I know who Brian Christopher was, but I never did see him. And who's his partner here?
Scotty Too Hottie. He does the worm.
Does the worm.
Yeah. They're ready for the worm and the dancing right now. Listen to the pop, ladies and gentlemen. The crowd is with Too Cool. Look at this, dude. Everybody's clapping. I'm going to go ahead and play the audio. What do we say here on the show, Tony?
Let's time to track it.
No, that's weak. Do it like you mean it.
Track it.
In Jericho's face.
Yeah, but nobody got in anybody's face like that man. Rikishi got into the face of Kurt Angle.
Look at this crowd on their feet.
Hey, wait. What is this?
I don't know.
What are they trying? Wait a minute, they're trying to get China and Jericho to bust a move? They got shades for China and Jericho.
They got him on. They got him on. Now will they get it on?
Stand by, JR. I think we're fixing to witness history here. What are we going to see?
Now this is a cool line.
Uh-oh. No! What? Look at China get down! What the?
Jericho and China joining Too Cool and Rikishi. And they're busting their moves in the sold-out Madison Square Garden.
What?
Folks, we got a lot more still to come, including The Rock on Raw.
Dude, how great is wrestling when it's great? It's so silly and fun.
When it's great, it's wonderful. And look, I loved how Jericho, once he put the glasses on, he was transformed.
Yeah, that's the gimmick. It's great.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
All right, we're going to track it here for Jericho.
Okay, let's do it.
What
Track it.
What do you mean what happened? You ask me what happened, Mitchell. I'll tell you exactly what happened. I mean, at that point. Wait a minute. No, please.
Stay back. Come on. You're done dancing. Come on. You stay back. You're done dancing. You want to try fighting? You want to fight me? You're challenging me? You cross-eyed freak?
You got it.
Damn straight I'll tell you. Yes, you want to go hunt tonight? You got it.
You think you know me?
So there you go. Perry Saturn taking issue with Chris Jericho, reuniting their old WCW feud. Except I don't think here the loser has to wear a dress.
Give me a time code here. I think I'm ahead of you now.
I'm at 35, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Okay, I'm about a second ahead of you. We're cool.
So Edge and Christian here. Of course, Edge made his WrestleMania re-debut. Came back to a huge pop this year at Royal Rumble, and it was all to set up a match with Randy Orton at WrestleMania. And then instead of running out in Raymond James Stadium in front of a sold out crowd, maybe sliding out of the, speaking of sliding, here comes Terry.
Yeah, baby.
I'm going to let you do the commentary on Terry. How would you describe Terry here?
Bouncing all the way down, bouncing all the way down. And look at how tight her jeans are.
Gonna try to be a gentleman today, huh, Tony?
Trying to be, but it lasted all of 35 minutes and 57 seconds.
Is she making it hard on you?
Difficult, yes.
Difficult. That's probably a better word. My apologies.
You know, we missed the boat with her, didn't we?
Yeah, you missed the boat, right?
Oh, here comes Al Snow.
Hey, we're gonna track it.
A personality to get over with you fans. And not only do you need a personality, you need an entrance that not only captures your imagination, but captures that personality. So Steve, old buddy, have I got a surprise for you. Hit it, boys!
What's he talking about?
Steve.
JR, what is? Well, I guess it's Blackman's new entrance music. Is this supposed to add charisma and excitement and electricity to Blackman's character, or what? Well,
this isn't doing anything for me at all.
So the fans are chanting head because Al Snow has made it his career for 2 years at this point to yell, "What does everybody want? What does everybody need?" And they start chanting head. He comes out with the mannequin head. And Steve Blackman, who is a legit badass.
Sure.
He's always been sort of devoid of personality, almost like a somehow less charismatic Jerry Flynn. And they've put him with the Green Bay Packer, Wisconsin cheese head on. And now they've called themselves Head Cheese here.
Got it.
Team. So this is Head Cheese taking on Edge and Christian.
Very, very novel. I often wondered what the head was about because I didn't get it, but thank you for smarting me up. Now I get it.
Yeah. Cause everybody wants head.
Everybody wants head. Go. Wow. I got it.
By the way, I think you're going to get a kick out of that because we're going to be talking a lot about head real soon here on the channel. We've got, and I don't even know that me and you've talked about this, but I've got the whole year mapped out now. Normally I do a month or two at a time.
Yeah.
But right. I've got the rest of 2020, hashtag quarantine life, mapped out for us now. Have you had a chance to take a look at what's going on?
Yeah, I have perused it. Yes, I have. It's very well thought out, very well done.
So you like it?
Yes, I like it.
Wow. You know, I'm just used to you shitting on everything. So
no. You shit on everything, not me.
Wait, what did I shit on?
You got the roles reversed here.
No, I don't have a roles. So let's talk about it.
Oh yeah, you do, unless you've sold it within the last month.
Next week's show is going to be the April 24th, 1993 WCW Saturday Night. That's the famous episode where Big Van Vader is going to powerbomb Cactus on the floor. And then of course we'll finish out April with Backlash 2006. It's Vince and Shane McMahon taking on Shawn Michaels and God.
I can't wait for that one.
In May though, that's when I teach you all about head. You ready to learn about head?
Yeah, in May I sure am.
WrestlePalooza 1998. Al Snow's head is in the main event. We'll also see some other fun stuff coming up in the month of May, including the May 19th, 2003 Raw. It's often referred to as a night in Greenville. It's Ric Flair's last world title shot. I think that's right. It might not be. No, because he wrestled Edge once a couple years later. But this is him and Triple H in the main event for the world title in Greenville, South Carolina. Big time stuff. And
very cool. Same place where he came back to WCW.
Yes.
Same building. Yeah.
And then we'll go back in our retro rewind a little bit to May 22nd, 2000, where you guys literally had a funeral for Ric Flair on Nitro. And we'll round out May with your one and only shot in TNA, which was January 23rd, 2003. You've often alluded to it, but we'll actually watch it. So lots of fun stuff coming through the end of May. Wouldn't you agree?
I would. And I saw that TNA in there and I'm thinking, now, wait a second, because you just had it listed. He didn't have any notes beside it, or if you did, I missed it. And I'm thinking, is that the one where, I guess it is, the one where I was in, TNA.
Well, I'm glad to know that you didn't see the column labeled episode description for Tony.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
Because there is an episode coming up in July where we're going to watch an episode of TNA where we have a little person pull a gun on Jeff Jarrett.
Would that be Hornswoggle?
No, that is a wrestler named Puppet.
Puppet.
And 2 weeks before that, he beat off in a trash can.
Okay, and then why don't we see that episode?
Oh, they're both on there. Come on.
Oh, okay. All right, you got it.
Wouldn't dare have you miss that.
All right. So Terry Boatwright Runnels walks out with the Chiefs.
Yeah, she's making sure that they did not lose, that Edge and Christian did not lose.
Meanwhile, The Rock says he didn't like Elvis's picture.
Man, what a big time this was in wrestling. Not only is it The Rock, but they're in MSG. The Rock and MSG on Monday Night Raw. You guys didn't stand a chance in WCW.
No, not at all. This was the beginning of Rock getting mega hot, or was he mega hot by this time?
He started to get hot in 98. He was real hot in 99. But by 2000 here, with Austin out of the way, on the shelf, injured, he is over like Rover. I'm going to track it as he makes his way to the ring.
On their feet, the most electrifying entertainer in sports entertainment, the most electrifying athlete that perhaps we have ever seen, The Rock, once again facing the hallowed halls of Madison Square Garden, where he started it all.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. In the ring, from Miami, Florida, 275, The Rock.
That sign read you can't stop The Rock, but Shane McMahon and the Big Show certainly slowed him down.
Man, what a big entrance. What a big time in wrestling. And you heard JR reference it there. And I think we've actually watched that here on the show. He's in MSG where it all started for him in the WWE. Cause it's important to remember he debuted here in November of 96 at Survivor Series. So we're just like 3 years and change into his run, and he's already the top guy in the entire business.
Yeah, he came out with Rocky Maivia, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and I was just thinking about the same thing as he walked out, about how Rocky Maivia came out looking just like another guy, and how The Rock here now, years later, 3.5 years later, how he has the look, how he has the timing, just how he has just blossomed.
He won the world title 2 years after his debut, Survivor Series 1998. So 2 years in, he was the top guy, which I guess is really not that different from the trajectory we saw Bill Goldberg, where he debuted September of 97. And by July of 98, just a handful of months later, he was the top guy. Of course, one of these guys had, sort of next level superstardom laying in wait. And a lot of that's probably just something you can't teach. It's not like they were teaching charisma down at the power plant.
No, you're right. And Rock's got that. And not only that, Rock's got some pretty good working punches too. Rock bottom.
How many Brooklyn Brawler matches did you see back when you worked for the WWF?
I saw plenty of them. What I remember about the Brooklyn Brawler was on the night on Primetime Wrestling, Bobby Heenan sent him out to beat up the Red Rooster.
Oh man.
Right on the set. You remember that?
I do. That was a great moment in Red Rooster and Brooklyn Brawler history.
Yeah. And I remember when he was saying, get him. He was going, get him, jumping, get him. I was thinking, hell yeah, beat the fuck out of him. I was right behind him on that for many reasons.
Who do you think was sort of the WCW NWA equivalent of Brooklyn Brawler?
WCW equivalent of the Brooklyn Brawler.
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute, track it.
Track it.
Triple H, The Rock says you think you're real cute, making The Rock face the Brooklyn Brawler. So right now, Triple H, you probably think that The Rock is just gonna go back to his hotel. Well, The Rock says this: he doesn't feel like leaving New York City.
Not even to go back to SmackDown Hotel?
So Triple H, The Rock says, bring your candy ass out here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, but don't worry. It's not going to be a WWF title match. It's not going to be a number one contender match. It's going to be The Rock kicking Triple H's candy ass match.
He's calling out Triple H.
The Rock, the people's champion, calling out the WWF champion.
Now, you better not do that because the game will come right out here and get right up in that eyebrow.
Let's see if the game's got the cojones to do that.
What?
The Rock has challenged the game.
Uh-oh, I told you.
And there's the Triple H and his bride, Stephanie.
She didn't waste any time. Look at this.
Stephanie trying to restrain her husband.
The game was irate.
Hey, this is man to man. Stephanie, your husband's been challenged to a fight, man to man. Let him go. Let him go. Listen.
No chance.
Uh-oh, what the hell is...
Hold on a second. Hold on, just back it up. Back it up right now. Hunter, yo, chill out. Chill just that 1 second. I've seen this happen 1,000 times. Next thing you know, you run in there and The Rock has goaded you into putting the World Wrestling Federation Championship on the line. Well, that's not happening tonight. No, it will not be The Rock versus Triple H for the WWF Championship tonight. I've seen it happen. No. You have to understand one thing. You see, we got this all figured out. The WWF Championship will be defended at WrestleMania between you and the Big Show. That is how it's going down here, Rock.
Cooler heads have prevailed, JR.
Well, The Rock says this. If WrestleMania is going to be Triple H and the Big Show, then WrestleMania is going to absolutely suck.
What?
And WrestleMania never sucks.
That's the greatest main event I could ever think of.
Look, Shane and Stephanie are having a conference.
Boy, this started out as a power struggle earlier on, and now it's like a huddle here.
What could they be thinking about?
Okay, Rock. You've got one last chance.
One last chance?
If you can pin either Triple H or the Big Show tonight in that very ring in a handicap match.
What?
Then you can have your number one contendership for the World Wrestling
All right.
Federation
No, wait a
Championship at WrestleMania.
The opportunity is there.
Wait a minute, she must have said that wrong.
The door is open
Rock.
for The Rock.
If you don't pin me or the Big Show, that's it. This is your last chance. No more shots. Nothing. You're done. This is the last chance.
Well, I'll tell you what, the odds are long, but The Rock's he's got to go for it, King.
So let The Rock understand this. If The Rock doesn't pin you or the Big Slow, that's The Rock's last chance.
That's
It doesn't matter if that's a Rock's last chance.
Uh-oh. Oh, my gosh.
The Rock says it just doesn't matter. One way or the other, come hell or high water, bet your hard-earned dollar. The Rock says he'll kick your candy ass and your candy ass tonight. Oh, and jabroni, this is how it goes. If you smell what The Rock is cooking.
Oh, my gosh, JR, tonight.
Well, what do you think?
Yeah, baby. But that's what happens when you have Daddy's Little Princess book a match, right? She talks too much.
She talks too much.
She talks too
boy,
much.
You
But
never shut up.
if you smell what The Rock is cooking, I love it, man. Love it. But you know what? You know what I was thinking of when they're talking here?
What?
And now we're almost 50 minutes into this. We ain't had much wrestling at all on the show.
That's not what they're about. They make movies, pal.
Yeah, apparently so.
How about everybody has been out twice too? Third appearance from China.
Mm-hmm.
She walked out earlier with Jericho, then to a backstage interview segment, and now she's out. I mean, don't get me wrong. They clearly know, play the hits.
Sure.
You know, when somebody's over, when they're doing good quarter hours, let's get them in as many segments as we can.
Joni kind of softened their look here a little bit, didn't she, by this time?
She had her jawline adjusted.
Right.
And she got some +2s.
Mm. Yeah, she sure did.
You know, I've always heard that the way you format TV and wrestling is you start with what your last segment on the show is, and then you work backwards, with the critical segments being the end of the show, the beginning of the show, and the crossover.
That's right.
So those are the sort of three critical moments when you're trying to consider sort of channel changers.
Right.
So we started with Triple H and Stephanie, and in the crossover here, we've got China and Chris Jericho.
See, now you shouldn't say that on this podcast because every turd on Twitter will now think he can book a wrestling show.
Well, everybody on Twitter already thinks they can book a wrestling show.
Thank you very much. Or as you would say, I love you for that.
Well, am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Oh, I forgot to mention this. We had some fun with Tiger King, but, next month on adfreeshows.com, did you see what we're doing?
I have not.
I'm going to make you watch the Boneyard match with Undertaker and AJ
yes.
Styles, and then the Firefly Funhouse match with John Cena and The Fiend.
Yeah.
I don't know that you saw the matches, but I'm sure that you saw the reaction because everybody was talking about it both nights.
Yeah, I saw the reaction. I didn't see it.
But you will next month, and don't watch it ahead of time. I can't wait for you to see it cold.
Okay.
And
I want to see it cold.
How about Dean Malenko, that nothing happening son of a plumber?
Yeah. How about, and Perry Saturn and Chris Jericho know each other quite well. Perry not really laying him in here.
Well, he likes him.
Well,
oh man, I got to send you a clip of him just beating the fuck out of, I think it's one of the Bellboys. Oh
yeah.
Shit. He goes into a blind rage on a Sunday Night Heat and fucks the guy up for real.
Wow. Well, what's the update on Perry Saturn? I know you and I have talked occasionally about it. Is he doing okay? At one time he wasn't.
Yeah. I don't think anybody would say he's doing super well. Right. He's had some GoFundMes and things like that. Certainly had some challenges in his life, but I don't know the latest, but Jericho does. They're still friendly. They still speak.
I'll do that because, Jericho and I are buddies now.
No, I can't. Yeah, you tell me all the time. Oh, I've been texting with Jericho. Oh, I've been texting with Le Champion all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. You know who else I text with?
Cody Rhodes.
Well, yeah, that's a daily, but that's because he's my boss.
Tony Conrad.
But
Arn
sometimes.
Anderson.
Yeah, Tazz.
Oh God, how exhausted are you?
Yeah, we have texted today as we're taping the show. We have texted. We have texted 10 times with each other. And if you don't text him right back, he gets pissed off at you, right?
You have heat. He can't imagine that you have anything else in your life more important than returning his goddamn text.
So, I had forgot to return his text from like a day or so. So I made sure I returned his text today.
Oh, if you waited a day, then he was already planning a trip down to Georgia to mafia kick your ass.
Then he told me, he asked me this obscure NWA Crockett Promotions question that I didn't have any idea, and I just kind of guessed. And he said, good. That's what I thought. He said, I'm going to ask you a random NWA question. I'll text it to you every day. I'm thinking, what did I do to deserve this?
Dude, he and I were so bored the other day. We talked for 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, why didn't we just click record and slide some fucking dick commercials in here?
Oh,
we'd have been done.
I just,
what a fucking spot there by Jericho.
Fucking A, man. Oh shit.
Oh my God. Malenko just Larry and Chana. This is awesome. Dude, this is what happened in catering when he found out that you ate the last kosher meal.
Oh my God. Very Saturn picks her up belly to back. Oh man.
Dude, you can tell these guys are all friends.
Oh yeah. But they're putting some time into this match, which is good.
No, I like the match. Listen, I've often thought that, and Bruce Pritchard's talked about it when they first signed the Radicals, he thought the biggest upside was going to be with Perry Saturn just based on the look.
Right.
Obviously he's got the size, but he's got the bald head with the beard, the tattoos and the crazy eyes. I mean, he probably thought this guy's and he was a hell of a performer, trained at the same place that, Hunter Hearst Helmsley did, the old Killer Kowalski gym.
Then I have a question.
Shoot.
About all this. And I think it's a legitimate question. On the Chris Benoit 2-part series.
Yeah.
When they talked about Guerrero, they talked about Benoit and Malenko coming in. They never mentioned Perry Saturn. Not one time. And I wondered why that. Was that just an omission?
Well, because Malenko was being interviewed as part of the show. And the other two guys are dead.
Okay. But I don't even think Perry name was not even part of the copy. Even when they walked out on TV, they even tracked them saying Malenko, Benoit, Guerrero, and Perry walked out with them. They cut out Perry's name. And I just thought that was awfully odd. Maybe I was making too much of it.
Well, yeah, I think it's, because if you introduce other characters to the story to a non-wrestling fan, they'd say, well, who is that guy? What's going on with him? And if they didn't have it in the budget to go interview him.
I get it. Badass Billy Gunn, buddy.
By the way, I feel like Billy Gunn is really taller. Billy Gunn's even taller now because Triple H is not as tall. Maybe Triple H has shit in his boots.
Yeah. Yeah. Billy Gunn is taller and bigger now than he used to be.
Billy Gunn is a fucking hoss, and he's getting his ass handed to him here by the rest of DX, Road Dogg and X-Pac and
what the fuck?
Triple H. They're not happy with Mr. Ass here.
Well, the new Age Outlaws are done then, I guess, right?
They just locked his ass up. How about that USA Network sign?
That's pretty cool. That is cool.
Here we go. This is what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh my God.
Friend, that's a shocker.
Mae Young coming to the ring, strutting that ass as only she can.
My God.
With her big stud, her man, sexual chocolate himself, Mark Henry.
Yeah.
Can you believe that Mae Young got splashed by Big Vis the prior week?
Jesus.
She's fucking pregnant, dude. You can't be doing that.
Okay. Hang on a second. Mae Young's pregnant.
Yeah.
Hey, it's George Napolitano. How you doing? How you doing? I taking a picture. How you doing? You want to buy some pictures? Hey, how you doing? Hey, I can take pictures for you for $50 every 30 minutes. Okay, so Mae Young's pregnant.
Yeah.
That's the storyline here.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
No, wait, it's real.
But bullshit. Okay.
This is Crash Holly. You would have loved him. His gimmick is he's a super heavyweight. Now, of course, he's really 5 foot nothing.
Yeah.
180 nothing.
Yeah.
But I mean, at best, but he's still out here and he's going to introduce himself as weighing in at more than 400 pounds, which is why he brings the scale to the ring with him.
Now, Bob Holly was the one that was a shooting badass, right? Or was Crash also?
No, Bob Holly was a shooting badass. This is a California indie guy who had a little bit of a resemblance to Hardcore Holly.
Right.
And it's a good spot for him.
Yeah. So there he's got a belt and here we go.
Do you know why they are one of the nicknames I believe that he had was based on the Jetsons?
Ah. Mr. Sprockly, Spacely Sprockets, Mr. Spacely.
Are you okay?
Maybe not. Yeah, I'm fine. I was just wondering what part of the Jetsons. Okay. Mae is here. She's going to paintbrush him?
The little boy, Elroy.
Elroy
Jetson is what Crash Holly kind of looked like.
His boy Elroy. Dun, 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 dun.
Can you imagine getting in a fight with Mark Henry in real life?
No, I wouldn't be one of back then. No. And now, no.
Just as a rib, they would bring like frying pans and put them in the skits. Like just go to the store, go to Costco or whatever, and then just put in the script, Mark Henry bends 6 frying pans. And so then they would just put a camera in front of him live and he would just have to do it. But he could do it. He could just bend a frying pan in half.
Yeah.
And then they got him one that was like sturdy as shit. There was no way anybody could do it. And he refused to let go. Like, fuck this. I'm doing it.
That's a Major League deal right there, boys.
Yes, it was. Cause I don't even think he had to cooperate. He was just going.
You're going to go this way.
I think if you were going to wrestle Mark and fight Mark Henry for real.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, here comes Mae Young. Let's track it.
Oh God.
I told you she was hardcore.
What is Mae doing?
Wait a minute, you're pregnant.
It's legal for her to be in the ring, but I mean, she's pregnant.
What the hell?
Oh, Mae just.
Oh, wait a minute. She's.
Oh no. Mae just hurt herself. She shouldn't have done that. She shouldn't have done that.
There, Conrad.
What is she even doing in there?
Tony,
They're going to have a miscarriage on TV.
No, they're not going to have a miscarriage. Why would you say that?
Because you said she was pregnant.
Well, she is pregnant.
And she dived on them.
Yeah, she shouldn't have done that, but she's not going to lose the baby. She's just going to have it right now, live on Raw.
No.
We're going to deliver the baby here on Raw. Look at Pat Patterson rolling. That's the best part. Pat's not been around a lot of pregnant ladies. Just roll the old broad under the bottom rope. Get her back there.
I see Fabulous Moolah came out. I don't know what she's doing.
She wants her cut.
Because I was getting ready to say, if you're going to have a baby, I want part of it.
Well, 15% of that baby. And all that baby's future earnings, 15%. Oh my God. This is during the break here. Track it.
With the EMTs, and they said she's in labor? That's exactly what we're informed.
She's gonna make it go.
Don't rush me like that.
Stop. She's not gonna make it to the hospital. Just put her in there. Put her in there. What do you mean? We gotta put her in there. Come on.
Joey, don't jump on me.
Come on. Look, I gotta help her. Look, man.
So there you go. Looks like Mae Young's in trouble. And look who it is. I mean, listen, when you've got Mae Young about to give birth, you got to have some realism. It's got to be Tazz.
Here's my man, buddy.
Dude, this is before he was wearing the trucker bullshit. This is when he was Tazz the badass.
Yes, sir, man.
You know what's fun? He sent me some of this stuff. I don't think he wants that out there. But fuck it. Y'all are my friends. I'll tell you everything on WHW. He sent me a pair of Tazz boots.
Really?
A Tazz singlet, even a Tazz black towel like that. Whenever my wife tries to feed me like some sort of cauliflower casserole, I wear that black towel to dinner just to let her know I'm not happy with this.
Legit, buddy. And I'm proud to say he's one of my friends.
Dude, such a cool guy.
Oh man, he and I, the repartee that we have in the backstage area, I think should be. I told him, I said, we need to roll tape on this.
It would be hilarious. It should be it should be a YouTube show.
Yeah, it's right. Just because of we just play off each other so well. And I told him, I said, man, I just want to work with you on TV one time. He said, you're lying, motherfucker. I said, no, I am. I do. I want to work with you on TV together. This has potential to be a good match.
Hell yeah, it does. Chris Benoit, former WCW world champion for a day, taking on former ECW world champion Tazz. Could have been a dream match just 1 year prior. Now it's happening.
Yeah, man, there you go.
And it's happening in between Mae Young segments.
Oh my God. See, I got fodder for the next time I talk to him. I can't wait. I already know what I'm going to say.
You know, what's funny is we were talking the other day and, often refer whenever he's like pissed off about something. I'll say, oh man, you should cut like a 1997 Tazz promo on him. And so then somehow, dogs came up and I was like, I bet 1997 Tazz had like a fucking Rottweiler. He's like, bro, how did you know that? I just started laughing. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, did I tell you that? I'm like, no. It's like, how the fuck did you know I had a Rottweiler? I said, I don't know. You just look like the type of motherfucker who have a Rottweiler. He's like, well, I did. And his name was whatever. That was just like, I'm like, I bet you were giving that dog steroids. He's like, I've told you this. I told you. How would you know I had my dog juicing? I'm like, cause fuck you. You were 1997 Tazz. Of course you did. You were feeding him what you were eating. He just died.
Now he's beaten Benoit twice here.
38 times.
Yes, he's beaten Benoit twice.
Well, that means Tazz is about to lose.
Yeah. Well, of course that's predictable. But I have to say, I can't concentrate on this match now because I'm thinking of Mae. God.
So's the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm probably betraying some confidence here, but you see Tazz wrote 13 on his wrist tape there?
Yeah.
He told me once, and I probably shouldn't say who, but somebody in the back told him he couldn't put FTW on his wrist tape.
Really?
Yeah. A higher up. He probably don't want me to say who.
Okay.
How about this? You got Big Boss Man coming to the ring.
All right.
Another guy, sad to say he's no longer with us, and Prince Albert here, which is not the type of dick piercing that Matt Coon has.
Uh-huh.
That's what we'll do. We'll have some internet memes going.
No,
as
we
soon as
won't.
this drops, where it'll have Albert on the left and Matt Coon on the right, and it'll say Prince Albert, and then on the right it'll say Jacob's stepladder.
Okay. Who is this guy here?
He's the trainer at NXT now.
Yeah,
His real name is Matt Bloom. His wrestling name here is A-Train or Prince Albert.
You just can't get rid of Ray Traylor, can you? I mean, he's all incarnations of him.
Well, no, eventually they got rid of him.
Yeah, he killed him. Died. Watch out. Gonna get a chair.
What is interesting though is he knew a wrestling business without Tony Schiavone. He got to outlive you in the business.
Well, I'm kind of back in it now.
Yeah, but you were out there for a while.
Yeah, I was.
He was probably taking a victory laugh, like, at least I outlasted Schiavone.
God damn, they're beating up fucking Tazz, man. I'm not enjoying this at all.
It's worth mentioning too. Tazz was the fucking main event of ECW. And at this point, no disrespect to these performers, but Prince Albert and Big Boss Man, not exactly main eventers here in the company.
No, but it's two of them. You see, two of them.
No, I get it. I'm just saying I was the biggest Tazz mark ever. And when he came to the WWF, I'm like, oh, he's going to be fucking working with Stone Cold just any day now.
Right.
And instead, nope.
Do you know why?
Yeah. Cause it wasn't Vince's creation.
That's exactly right. Can I use the term without question? You're right. And he should have been.
Oh, hey, speaking of should have been, congratulations. I saw last week where you posted where you've been in your current home. Oh, track it.
Get the trash can over here. Come on, relax, man, relax.
You're not ready, Tony. Here we go.
Get out of the way. Come on,
man, you gotta relax.
Relax. Come on.
You need to get twins. Bear down. You got to have that baby. Come on.
Relax.
I'm not having this baby until I have a cigar.
A cigar?
Need a cigar.
Yeah, get her a cigar right now. On the store. It's coming. It's coming. Got a cigar coming.
Calm down, everyone. Come on.
You gotta have this baby.
There's a cigar. There's a cigar. There you go, Mae.
There's your cigar. There you
It's
go.
not lit. Wait a minute. Here, I got a lighter. Hold on, Mae. Hold on. Here. Hold on. All right.
Mae.
Suck on it, Mae.
please.
Wait a minute.
Relax, Mae. Just
Relax,
relax.
relax.
Come on now, relax.
Okay.
Come on, Mae.
Excuse me,
All right,
excuse
I
me,
can't believe
excuse me, excuse me.
Come on, Mae.
May, when was the last time you had your period?
About 1957.
57.
Mr. Henry?
Would you please take that thing out of your mouth? Please VA.
Are you sure you're impregnated this
Bear
time?
down, Mae. You can have that baby. You gotta have it. You understand? You gotta have the baby. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Right.
Hard. You're not trying. Push hard. Push. You gotta have this baby. Push.
Oh my God. Just shut up and calm down.
Come on, bear down, Mae. Push. You gotta have this baby. Push. Come on. Come on.
I can't get it.
Come on. Bear down hard,
I need
Mae.
some.
Push.
I think I got something here, Doc.
God. Calm down. Calm her
You
down.
want to try this, Doc?
That might work.
Try that.
Come on, Doc.
Come on, Mae. You're doing fine. Push. Bear down. Push hard. Push.
Get behind me. Oh my God.
A hand. Oh, God, come on, let's give me a hand.
Tony Schiavone.
They had a hand up the cooter.
Yeah. She had Roy Munson's hand up there from the movie Kingpin.
Got it.
And you saw Pat Patterson covering his nose. I don't know that he'd ever even seen some of that down there before.
Right.
And Mae Young acknowledging she got her last period in 1957 and refusing to have this baby until she got a cigar. And Jerry Briscoe got her a cigar until he started dry heaving and trying to throw up based on what he saw. But my favorite part of the whole thing is Moolah looking like a goddamn gremlin.
You gotta have this baby. Push down, bear down. You gotta have this baby.
Get that thing out of your mouth.
Maybe if she put that thing in her mouth, she wouldn't have got fake impregnated.
Right. So that hand's been up in there since like 1958.
Well, we don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Kingpin came out in what, 96, 97, something like that, maybe 95.
Right.
So maybe it's only been in there, 3 to 5 years.
Pretty funny. They had a good time putting that together. And thank God the Me Too movement wasn't alive in 2000. Jesus.
So listen, it's one of the more controversial moments. Of course, we know that Mae Young and Mark Henry's baby would grow up to be a participant in the wrestling business, had big aspirations, turned out to be a hell of a hand.
Hold on a second.
He, you may have seen, he did do a little TV work beforehand. You've probably seen him, pushing some cheeseburger macaroni and beef stroganoff. Of course, we're talking about the hamburger helper man. What'd you think? Should you guys have counter programmed this with Stacy Keibler getting a hand up hers?
I know maybe Thing from Addams Family.
Where you at on this?
On what?
Raw is hand baby.
I think it's stupid.
Well, we took to Twitter and I said, I'm about to show Tony Schiavone the episode of Monday Night Raw where Mae Young had Mark Henry's love child. Have a question for Tony? Drop it here.
Yeah.
Ben Thatcher's Elbows writes in, what do you think the hand smelled like? Metamucil?
No, it smelled like hamburger helper.
Mr. William writes, what's the weirdest thing you've seen someone put up a hoo-ha?
A box of Dunkin' Donuts.
Henry writes in, are we absolutely sure it's not Tony's hand baby, given his proclivity for the ladies?
No, it's not. My hand is not that big. You know what they say? Small hands.
Small gloves.
Dinky one. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Pender J writes, if Tony were in charge of naming the hand, what would it be and why?
Okay. Well, taking a look at what I just saw, it would be like Slimy or Cooter Finger or I don't know.
Brian Gerwitz put a tweet out. He said, favorite MSG moment? Easy. February 22nd, 2000, the production meeting that ended with, quote, before we wrap this up, we need to decide what Mae Young's going to give birth to.
Yeah. Well, I just in all the stuff that they've been doing, that just seemed kind of crazy to me.
Lee Parker wants to know how many Moscow mules would it take?
Ooh, there ain't enough, buddy.
Big Red.
A whole big fifth of Tito's vodka.
Big Red writes, hypothetically, hall pass and all that good shit. Would Tony tussle with Mae?
No.
Paul Lasky wants to know, hypothetically, what part of the body would be the love child of Tony and Whitney Wright?
It would be the O-ring.
Oh my gosh. There are some really horrific questions on here that make
I bet there is. We can probably stop right now.
You think?
Yes. What the hell?
Rajiv wants to know, did any of the 21 Schiavone babies come out hand first?
No, they did not. I was there for 4 of the 5 births.
Dave Exotic writes, you've said that calling Hogan Bossman at MSG was your most memorable WWE moment.
Yeah.
Where would this stack up if you were there?
Yeah. Well, I would say it's memorable. I mean, how could you forget something like that? What, did they take any heat for this, Conrad?
Of course they did. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
And by the way, lots of people mistakenly list this and say, oh, all of Vince Ruth's terrible ideas, like the Mae Young hand. It's like, that wasn't him, bro.
Yeah.
It's just fascinating to me that people are so quick to shit on Vince. They're like, oh, well, Mae Young, not it.
Yeah. Right.
Come on. What do you think Klondike Bill would say about this? Tommy Viola wants to know.
He would probably say, you don't have forceps, I'll use my teeth.
RJ wants to know, who would you rather have a hand baby with? Medusa, Tori, or Francine?
Francine.
Lee wants to know, if you could have pulled anything out of there, what would it be and why?
It'd have been another hand.
Okay.
Oh my God. Here comes Kane. Is this like some sort of angle?
Yeah.
I mean, have they got, is there a storyline between he and,
X-Pac? Yeah.
X-Pac? Okay.
They're in
Got
a feud, and then eventually they become a tag team.
Okay.
And then another feud.
So now we got Road Dogg and one of the Dudleys, right? And the Dudleys together.
Where do you put this on worst things we've ever seen in wrestling?
This is going to rank right up there. I don't know, top 10, top 5, maybe.
What would you even compare it to in WCW?
In WCW, Judy Bagwell on the pole. Possibly.
I think this was worse than Judy Bagwell on the pole.
Okay. Give me a few minutes and I'll think of some other bad things that we did. Any Buff Bagwell match, any Van Hammer match, maybe.
Dude, there are so many questions. There's no way we can get to all this. Okay. This might be the most questions we've ever gotten for a show ever before. People are really excited that you're here to watch Raw is Hand Baby, and there we see the Empire State Building.
Yeah.
Remember we could leave the house and do fun things, Tony?
Yes, I do.
Feels like a long time ago.
It feels like years ago. Let me ask you this too. Where did they go with this? Was that it?
Yeah.
That is the end of the story.
The baby showed up at a Raw reunion, and it really was the hamburger helper size hand. And he hugged Mark Henry. It was like a reunion.
Okay. So are JR and the King talking about it here, or they just ignored it and let it go on? I just, knowing JR, how I know him, I just wonder what he thought about this.
He moved on.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
They're talking about Foley here and the retirement. That's what they're selling here. By the way, we do have something coming your way that you've never seen before, but it's going to happen in October. There was an episode where Vince McMahon would pull JR's head out of his ass.
I've seen it.
Well, we're going to watch it together in October.
Okay. And the reason I've seen it was it's in his book.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go, and I went back and I saw it after I read about it, thinking, how in the world could he do something like this to JR? And so I've seen it. So we'll need to look at it again. That's one of the worst things too I've seen in wrestling, to be honest with you.
Hey, did you know last week on AEW that you yelled balls in Japanese? Or did you find out after the fact?
That I yelled balls in Japanese?
Yeah.
No one ever smarted me up to that.
When one of the performers got hit in the no-no and Jericho called the move, Jericho said the word balls in Japanese and you yelled it.
Oh, there you go.
In addition to that, all the list of names that Omega and Nakazawa gave you were all like made up horse shit referencing porn.
I love it. That's tremendous.
I love that nobody's told you the entire time.
No, I love it. I love I love them playing pranks on me. And I love silly shit, man. I do.
How come when I ask you to do it here, you pitch a fucking fit about it?
Our whole fucking show is silly shit on Conrad.
I know that, but I'm saying like when I got you to sing, Way Down Yonder, it gets hotter than Medusa's coochie. You were like, oh, I can't do this.
But I did it, didn't I?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay. So there.
Oh, shout out to Matt Schiavone, who immediately texted me and said, why the fuck is Dad not wearing a belt? And I'm like, I don't know. Ask your mom. She let him leave the house like this. This isn't out of town. This is up the road.
And then the week before, you and him were ripping on my shoes.
Yeah. It's like you didn't know that we were going to see your shoes. You had the Air Mall Walker 2020s on.
Yeah, that's right. Bowling shoe ugly. Yep. You're exactly right.
Those are probably the shoes you cut grass in.
I don't cut grass anymore.
No, you got that sweet Tony Khan money.
I've not cut grass in years.
Oh, I've been to your house. I know that to be a fact. I'm surprised the city hadn't found you.
Speaking of silly shit, see, that's what we're all about, silly shit. But those were really made up names. That is extraordinary, man.
Yeah. That one of the things they told you was a legit genre of porn, but you don't watch Asian porn. So you don't know. What's funny is a buddy of mine who low-key wants to be Asian. He, tweeted me to tell me or texted me all the silly shit you were saying. And I'm like, I don't know what any of that is. And he's like, yeah, neither does Tony. Like,
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Oh God, I can't wait to see Kenny again. But that was an entertaining match. Those two. Oh my God. Oh my God. And sometimes you just got to entertain the people, right?
Well, they did.
Mm-hmm. Boy, this is a pretty long Mick Foley package.
Yeah. I mean, he retired, bro.
I got it.
So they're trying to pay homage to him. And there he is waving goodbye for the last time. We'll never see him again.
Right.
He's done with wrestling forever. What a big moment this was. On top of the Hell in a Cell with a flaming baseball bat. Wrapped in barbed wire.
You can say that he literally gave his body for the sport.
Oh, he did. Without question. Pretty remarkable. And how about the roar of the crowd here?
Being a great man. Exactly what he deserves. A standing ovation. Gonna miss him, Mick.
And there you see The Rock backstage. This is what, segment number 8 with him?
He's been out quite a bit. Couple little teases.
WrestleMania. Just think that's the last WrestleMania that would happen while there was still a WCW.
Amazing, huh?
I got to thinking about that today, about how weird your journey in wrestling has been, where, you know, you make the jump over based on a recommendation from Ric Flair from minor league baseball that the Crockett's owned, and get your chance at calling TV and eventually become the lead announcer on the show, and then get a big offer after, you know, there's some acquisitions made and JR's in, and there's some combining of forces. And you think, well, rather than deal with this, let me see what I can get the big offer from the WWF, uproot your family, move north, and, put in your notice, negotiate a really good deal for yourself in WCW, then put in your notice, go pick out a house in Georgia, go not call WrestleMania 6, watch WrestleMania 6, rush back, edit the tape, put your shit in a box, load up the family, move out of Beverly, and get down there, buy the house you live in right now, settle in, and you're right back in time for RoboCop.
Thanks.
And
thanks for pointing that out.
5 years later, Eric Bischoff would say, you're too Southern. You're not on the big live show. You got to be thinking at that point, oh fuck, I've made a huge mistake. And then he quickly adjusts. You become the voice of Nitro. You enjoy some tremendous years at the tippy top of the mountain. And then a handful of years, not exactly at the top of the mountain, and then find yourself with no home in wrestling and decide to go back where it all started, to baseball. And then a hillbilly sees you at a convention, your only convention appearance of its kind. What Happened When is born. Now you're back on top, back where it all started with Turner. It's fucking crazy, is it not?
Well, it is. And seeing, having a hillbilly see me was the key part of that I never will forget. But I don't think I'm back on top now, but I know I'm not back on top, but I do know this. I'm sitting there next to Chris Jericho announcing with him, thinking that life's pretty fucking good.
It is pretty fucking good. And let me just tell you right now, you're the best announcer in wrestling right now.
No.
No. Hear me out. Now, you said earlier, and I think you hit on something that maybe isn't discussed enough as we'll see The Rock making his way to the ring here. For whatever reason, the internet has not been kind to Michael Cole. And Michael Cole has been in a thankless position. He's almost sort of the Steve Young of WWE, where for years and years, Joe Montana was the man in San Fran, and whoever came after him, man, it was going to be fucking tough titty.
Right.
And Steve Young, no matter how many games he won, even when he won the Super Bowl, yes, they appreciated him, but he still wasn't Joe Montana to those fans. And I feel like that's the spot Michael Cole's in. You've got to follow JR.
Sure.
And you sort of had a different path, and fans grew tired of your shit in WCW too. The familiarity breeds contempt, or whatever that cliche is. And
sure.
And then you had an opportunity to come back, and people were so excited for the nostalgia aspect of your return, and your commentary now brings them back to their childhood, which is why we opened the show with, hey, the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. I mean, who's your competition? Like, realistically, is it Tom? Is it Cole? Is it Tom, Is it Tom Phillips? Is it Byron Saxton? Is it Corey Graves? Like, I like all those guys, and they're all great guys, but
I still think JR can sell a wrestling match better than anybody.
I'm not arguing that, but I'm saying fans have gotten a little bit familiar with him. And as a result, anytime he's on commentary and has one slip up, man, they just eat his ass alive. If you have the same slip up, they're like, oh, Tony. It's just weird where if you guys made the exact same mistake, they would string him up and they would race to forgive you.
Yeah. It's like that one night that I called Darby Allin or whatever. I called Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Sammy Guevara, Darby Allin. I kept mixing them up, and I was forgiven easily. I couldn't understand why, but maybe it's because I blocked everyone who would not forgive me. I don't know. But meanwhile, pretty good fucking match here, right?
Absolutely.
Good way to end it. I mean, big stars.
Absolutely. And to be clear, the guys who started in seg 1, here they are in the final segment on the show.
So, chat me up on this story. Rock has got to win this match or he's out of the WrestleMania match. Is that it?
He's got to pin 2 guys in order to get his WrestleMania match. So he's got to beat Hunter, and he's got to beat Big Show, and then he's got a match at WrestleMania.
Well, no, did anyone really think he would not show up to WrestleMania?
Well, if he bought a ticket, that's what Jerry Lawler said. He's welcome if he buys a ticket.
Great story. Look at the kids, man. By the way, when I see the McMahon family like that, I think of Bruce. Is everything okay in his world?
He's stressed out.
I bet he is.
A lot.
Man, I bet you all the shit that he's had to do because of all this, because of WrestleMania time and taking it away from the stadium in Tampa, I'm sure he's stressed out of his mind. Here we go. The Rock says he's in trouble. God, Paul's just a massive man. You just don't get. The TV never did him justice. You see him in real life, you get it. And what was the story on Triple H, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, using the name The Game?
Because
he was called The Game during this era here.
Yes. Well, there was a phrase that was getting popular in pop culture that don't hate the player, hate the game.
Got it. Yeah, that's
and he
Booker T always said that.
And he would say, I'm not a player, I am the game.
Got it.
And then, they did a whole little theme song. It's all about the game and how you play it.
I had a feeling it had something to do with the rap.
He would try calling himself the cerebral assassin. And the King of Kings, which I think is like Jesus or whatever.
Yeah, it is. Well, we're getting ready to see God in a couple of weeks, so we might as well see Jesus.
Sure.
Which I'm looking forward to, and I guess that's going to be right up there with Mae Young. Having God wrestle.
I think he was called the creator, the destroyer,
God
Connecticut
was.
Blue Blood, Trips, Triple
Trips?
H. Yeah, like,
Trips got it. It's shortened for Triple H. That's when you're too lazy to say the word. Like, I'm going on vacay. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going on vacay. No, you're going on vacation. As a matter of fact, we're all on vacation right now, but it's not vacay.
What are you doing around the house right now? You've been telling us every week that you've been doing some things around the house while you've been on quarantine.
Yeah. Well, I got all my paperwork in order to file taxes. I did all that, and it's a pretty healthy thing here. I bought some more Batman figures, and I've been sprucing up my room a little bit. We cleaned out the garage completely. Bought new garage doors. Watch out! Pinned somebody here, Rock. We're going to do some work on the kitchen next. Get some things done. Playing with my dog, playing PlayStation 4, and sleeping. Doing some work, doing some work for AEW. We're still doing some things.
So, have you seen Jake Roberts?
I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks. No.
Yeah. Did an interview last week saying he got kicked out of DDP's house.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Because DDP is afraid of elderly people now. Is that it?
No, because he was booked for AEW and DDP said, "Hey man, if you leave, you can't come back because of the virus."
Yeah.
So he felt like he had to go because he wanted his job with AEW. So we went, and then Dallas wouldn't let him in. So now he's stuck in some hotel, and now AEW's not booking him, and he just lives in a hotel all by himself.
Yeah, but he's a part of AEW. Okay.
No, I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying that was the interview, and all I could think was maybe you could let him hang out in the attic or whatever.
He could hang out in the Batcave.
Well, you're in there.
Okay.
I don't think you'd want to be bunk buddies with him.
Yeah.
But in the attic.
You just want someone to go look for your 6-man belt.
Oh, well, while he's up there, that could work.
Yeah.
That could work.
I got you.
Maybe do like a DDT or something up there.
Yeah.
Maybe bust the ceiling out. Maybe then it would fall down to where y'all were and you could find it easily.
He's going to kick out of the choke slam. Wait a minute. What? It's over.
That's the end of the show, buddy.
The end of the show. He's not going to WrestleMania.
Nope. He's dead. Rock's dead. That's the end of his career. He would retire right then.
Rock is dead and May had a baby.
Yep.
Man, what a terrible way to go off the air.
I really would have liked to have seen one more cutaway backstage of Mark Henry coddling the hand.
That'd have been great with all the slime still on it.
Well, no, they would have wiped it off and swaddled it, put one of those baby blankets on it and let Mae Young take the fucking cigar out. And they could have named, like Jerry Briscoe and you don't think he would have been a good Godfather? I think that would have been, they could have had the actual Godfather be the Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been tremendous if Mae Young would have demanded 15% of that hand right then. I want my cut. Well, listen, I had fun with this week. Next week, we're going to do some old school WCW. Vader power bombing Cactus Jack on the floor in WCW from 1993. Don't you dare watch it. Watch it with us next week here, right here on What Happened When. But Tony, as for this week, it feels like it's about that time.
And we do understand in the backstage area right now, we're going to dispatch Dave Silva to the backstage area because right now Mae Young is in recovery. And Dave has just told us that, oh my God, the fabulous Moolah has now gone into labor and they're going to have Dave. Dave is she has given birth. Yes. She has given birth. Ladies and gentlemen, she has given birth to another hand. a set of hands have been born in the backstage area, and Dave is taking those hands and he's whacking himself off with them. My God, this is the worst that we have ever done here on What Happened When. See you next week on What Happened When. We come to you on Westwood One. What the fuck did I just say? And every Monday we come to you on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday, where if you subscribe, not only would you get this show early and ad-free, but you would also get live chats with Tony Schiavone. Lord knows he ain't got shit else to do. Rescue him from Lois. Join patreon.com/WHW Monday before it's too late. We gotta go. We are desperately out of time. The tape machines are rolling at adfreeshows.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.